subscribers, welcome back to Inktober. It is day 6 and the theme for today was sword. Now, I decided that I didn't want to just draw a sword upright. Like at first I was going to, and I was like I wanted to be a little more creative with it, and so I kind of drew like a character, and I envisioned it as like more of a guy, and then as I scrolled through just different dang it, notifications! Stop it! I scrolled through and I saw this person with like a scarf, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna put my character that I draw with like a scarf and like a, like happy blushy face. If you've ever seen like those characters that are like slightly covered their face with their scarf, and it's just all like happy when it comes to like anime characters. I'm sure some of you guys get what I mean out there. Either way, I just decided to do that. And then as for the outfit, I kind of just slowly built it up. At first I was like, I want to add like a coat and make it look like a longer, like leather bound, not leather, but just like a thicker style coat, or like the cliche coat a lot of like people in games wear. I don't know why, I just kind of decided that in the long run. And I used the underneath of it, like the shirt, made it black and all this different kind of stuff. The sword I just kind of drew in the back as if it was like a pouch. If you've seen Zelda, I kind of drew the inspiration of like the sash and then the sword slung in the back. It's not the first character at all to do that kind of stuff, or even nearly close. It's probably just a cliche thing to have their sword hung over their back, because they always like bad donkidly, as I would say, grab the hills of the sword and swing it out from behind them, or that kind of stuff. Either way, so I kind of designed it like that. I added like a little soft squishy thing that kind of looks like a marshmallow stick at the end of the sword handle, so that looks kind of cool. Added some detail, added some spikes and some holes to make it look more unique, and so that was kind of cool, and I loved adding that kind of stuff to it. And over time, what I did is with the outline, I just use my O2 as before, and then I just added shadows and length and width and kind of like a depth feeling to it by adding like a little thickness in the lines. So that was kind of good. And it added shadows, and I used my 005 fine liner to just kind of add those shadows even more in depth. And some of this you may not see because I had to cut out some of it because it was getting close to 20 minutes because of the long run. The original... Oops! Sorry, you okay? I dropped my phone. I'm sorry. Anyways, talk about a newer person move. Anyways, like I was saying about cutting the video, I had to cut some of it because it was getting nearly 20 minutes long with the length of it cut, because originally I had done just the inking and it was getting late, and I was like, you know what, I'll ask a friend, and they said maybe you should color it, and so I decided, yeah, I'll color it. And so I just slowly built up, and over time it was really late by then, and I was extremely late on day 6 of Inktober when it came to posting it online because of this, because I colored it. But overall, I did like the theme of it, and it was fun to add. And see, this is what I was talking about when I meant adding using the 05 and just kind of adding, crossing in the shadowy type areas, and the closer to the shadow or the darker it would be, I added more lines, that kind of stuff. If any of you guys know what I'm talking about, which is basically cross-hatching, except I didn't use cross-hatching, I just used lines and made it closer and more lines, the thicker and darker the area was naturally, to add some more shadowy type effect. And that was just another way to add depth to my line work. And so, like how that went, I had a little bit of blushies, as pretty much every single drawing I have has, whether it's a sad blushy or like a happy blushy or an embarrassed blushy. There's always some kind of blushy on it, and I try not to, but I just realized it kind of recently. I was like, oh snap, I've pretty much done every single one of them with blushies. Like, why? It's something I've gotten myself addicted to, and it's cliche, and I just need to work on it. And so I just added like a small outline to the outside of it, just kind of make it look a little cleaner, add some more interest to it, which was kind of fun to do, as usual. And I had to later on, you'll see it closer to the very end, I had to use my gel pen to kind of clean up some of the edges because the black had kind of bled into the main lines, and I wanted it to look like it had like a nice line in between. And so here I went ahead and started coloring it. And before I was like, I want this kind of color here, but I don't know how I'm gonna make it with the other colors. So I just kind of swatched it in the back, and you won't see that, but I swatched it in the back and was kind of like, oh, these kind of colors look good together somewhat. And then I thought about it for a little bit, looked at some other colors, made sure that was the ones I wanted. And so basically I chose like a strong red, I think. I don't remember the exact words or what the exact terms were, but for like the base color, I did like a red, and then a brownish yellow for the scarf, and then a purplish blue for the clothing. And so it looks kind of cool. And then I love how the eyes turned out. It looks like this golden color, and it kind of reminds me with like the hair, like a fiery look to it. And then I colored the skin and basically colored some blushies, added some depth, added some color, used like a purplish color to add shadows. And it went a little dark in the long run, but I still love how it turned out because it added some more depth and it blended really nicely. So that was fun to do. And over the time, I just kind of built it up as I usually do. It's nice because I have a lot more Copics than I used to. I believe I have like 80 something of them right now, including my doubles, which is really nice because Copics are expensive, and my family has been nice enough to gift me them, and I am so happy with that because, like, seriously, I don't have very much money or the money to get that all the time. And so the fact that they've been nice enough to give me all this different art stuff makes me so happy because it's just, my art supplies have grown so much over the time, and it's just fun to see how I've done. And I used for the coloring for the hair, I used the same color as I did the scarf, and it's kind of like a brownish yellow type color, so it added some nice contrast to it. Because if you don't know, brown is like a really nice color to add shadows to when it comes to red. I don't remember exactly why the reason was for that. I remember watching a YouTuber and them saying that, and I tested it out and I really liked how that looked, and so that's where I stemmed from. Passing on the information. And then for the highlights, I used a yellow both for the coat and the hair and literally everything except for the skin. So yeah, I used yellow, and so that looked really nice. And then as for the coat, I used a red, which added a nice dark tinge to it. And I kind of, how I theorized this for the red is the blue violet already had kind of a tinge of red to it because it had like that violet color to it anyways. And so if you didn't know, blue and red, I believe, make a purple, so it has a natural depth to it when it comes to that. And I used that same brownish red color in the scarf. And I don't remember what other, I think it was an earth tone brown for like my darkest shadow when it came to my scarf as well. And so those were all my shadings and my highlights. And I did like how smooth, I've always liked how Copics tend to blend. It looks really smooth and crisp, especially with how I tried to do my line work. And that was really interesting to see how it formed out. And for the blade, I also used a black, like a nice black for it. And then for the squishy thing on the handle, I used the same color as the scarf. So, and it makes it to where it's a little limited palette, so it doesn't look as like rainbowy or such as some people would say, and it has like similar tones to it, so it's not like a bright neon tone and like a really dark muddy tone to it or that kind of stuff, which I try to tend to avoid. I know I've been working on certain stuff like that, or not adding too many colors, because it makes it more interesting to me if it's not so like bright and whoa, right in your face type stuff. And so that's kind of how I worked around it, and that was really fun to see how it turned out. And with the sword, I also used a gold to add more details to it to make it kind of pop out even more, so make it more unique, that kind of stuff. And so it looked really cool to me, and I'm happy that it added like a cool effect, like ooh, gold on the sword. And then I also, for the spikes, used like a silver gel pen, which was kind of pretty, and I made it look like that, so I'm kind of glad that I did that. And so overall for this piece, I'd say this is one of my better ones that I've drawn with Copics in terms of the line work. There is a couple things I would have liked to work on, like the scarf isn't exactly the most fluent, I would say, but I did like overall. It wasn't the worst that I've drawn a scarf, it wasn't the best that I've drawn a scarf. Oh, and I also used the silver for the buttons as well. And I used a white gel pen to add highlights to the cheeks, make sure to add the whites back into the eyes, add some highlights to the eyes, and then also add some highlights to the hands as well. And so that's kind of what I did, which I liked how it looked. And then I went ahead and signed it with my signature treble clef, an L, and a little angel as usual. And see, this is where I kind of cleaned up some of the areas because they were touching, like I said. Anyways, so overall this is kind of what it looked like, and you can kind of see the textures on it, and I tried to show that, and I'm happy you guys came. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys come again. And so for now, this is something I kind of decided on for an ending, but just go ahead and continue to be cool, and go ahead and doodle, guys. Bye-bye, subscribblers. I will see you tomorrow. Hey guys, if you like this video, give this video a like. And if you haven't checked out my other vlogs, go ahead and do that. You can either click the link to the previous one, or you can check him out at my page, and I'll have a playlist on there, and you can click that and watch it from the beginning. Or if you'd like, go ahead and check out my art, because I love doing art, and I'm sure if you guys love art, you will love my art channel as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!